So welcome to our second annual Engaged Jain Studies online conference, academic conference that is. We have some wonderful, notable scholars in the field of Jain studies here joining us with some excellent papers. I've been working with them on this project for the last few months, and I'm really excited with all of the presentations that we have here. So I'm going to and I guess I should say my name is Kojan Bohanec. I'm an assistant professor in Sanskrit and Jain Studies at Arihanta Institute. I'm also a visiting assistant professor at Claremont School of Theology, where Arihanta Institute collaborates to offer a master's graduate program in Engaged Jain Studies. So this conference has been conceived as a way of bringing together Jain studies and yoga studies into the broader academic discourses about social engagement and yoga. And we're really seeing that the increasing growth in the field of yoga studies in general, and we're really wanting to see the field of Jain yoga studies grow as well too. And there's a number of Jain texts and important Jain thinkers who have been working on Jain yoga for centuries, and so it's important that those voices are represented, particularly with their unique and innovative contributions to the field of yoga, of the yoga movement. So the goal of this conference is really to define and expand the methods and approaches that we can use in Jain research on yoga teachings and yoga practices. So with that being said, I'd like to turn it over to Parveen Jain. Dr. Parveen Jain is the founder, CEO, and chairman of Arihanta Institute. He's had an exciting career of over 30 years as an entrepreneur, founder, chief executive of multiple technology companies. But for the recent couple decades, he's really mostly focused his attention on philanthropy. He's a disciple of Acharya Sushil Kumar, and he's authored an introduction to Jain philosophy based on Acharya Sushil Kumar's writings and teachings that I had the privilege of editing. He and I are also currently working on a book on Jain mantra and Jain theory of language based on Acharya Sushil Kumar's writings and teachings. Please welcome Dr. Parveen Jain.
Jai Jinendra. Good to see everybody. We'll start with Namokar mantra. Om Namo Arihantanam, Namo Siddhanam, Namo Ayariyanam, Namo Uvajjayanam, Namo Loe Sabbasahunam, Eso Panchanamokaro Sabbapava Panashanam, Mangalanam Cha Sabve Singh Paramam Havai Mangalam. Jai Jinendra once again. We are delighted to welcome you to our Jain Yoga conference. As Kojan said, it's the second in our Engaged Jain Studies series. Just to give you an introduction of Arihanta Institute, Arihanta Institute is a pioneering institute for education, research, and scholarship on engaging the philosophy of compassion and nonviolence, the bedrock of Jain studies. We offer a wide-ranging platform to educate, empower, and connect everyone who is passionate about building a kinder and gentler lifestyle. Our offerings include MA in Engaged Studies in partnership with Claremont School of Theology, live and self-paced short courses for non-degree learners, public and scholar exclusive conferences and webinars, and we are building global partnerships with aligned organizations. Everything we do is online, so we can reach the global community. In short 2 years, we have received approximately 700 enrollments in 40 courses, 40 short courses, I should say, from over 20 countries. We held 2 public conferences in 2023 with approximately 200 and 500 registrations. In addition to the above 2 terms, in the first 2 terms of our Jain degree program, which started in the fall 2023, we received 35 enrollments in the 6 graduate study courses that were offered. And we are truly appreciative of all the support we get from CST. We empower our students and audiences with ancient wisdom to build a modern lifestyle that is in harmony with everything around us. The unprecedented global response we are seeing, as I talked about in the last 2 years, indicates a high level of interest in what we offer. Clearly, there is a hunger for these studies when they're presented in the right framework. Today's conference is a special one. Yoga has always been an integral part of Jain tradition, fueling one's quest for spiritual awakening. Yoga in Jainism is somewhat understudied, at least I feel that way. And we felt it was the right time to bring together some of the eminent scholars of the field in this conference. We have approximately 300 registrations today, just FYI. In Jain Yoga, Dhyan Yoga is perhaps the most crucial element, and multiple scholars are discussing that today, which is really, really good. Acharya Haribhadra Suri was perhaps the first to put together a structure around yoga practice, and we will hear about that as well today. Another thing, very soon we'll be embarking on another significant initiative, the Vegan Studies Initiative at Arihanta Institute. It's the first of a kind. The vegan lifestyle is rising, although it is generally viewed in health-related choices, but veganism is much more beyond that. Its roots are in compassion and nonviolence. We have planned a very comprehensive program to view veganism through the academic lens. We will offer short courses, like we are doing MA degree studies in partnership with CST, a webinar series, conferences, articles, blog posts, and much more. All of these are focused on vegan studies, and this is all in addition to what we do all the times in our regular offerings. Some highly noted scholars and the who is who in this field, in the field of veganism, are joining us in this program. Please visit our website for some details which are coming forth in the next few days. Finally, I want to take a moment to thank our educators. I believe they're the most precious individuals among us. They're the educators, researchers, and scholars of Jain studies. Our world needs these teachings more now than ever. You are the purveyors, our educators, are the purveyors of the knowledge that has become a necessity and not an option anymore. You have committed your careers, which is really admirable, to become the torchbearers of Mahavir's program, Mahavir's messages. And we truly appreciate that very much. This year, Mahavir Jayanti is on Monday, the coming Monday, April 21st. And what better way to celebrate his birthday than what we are doing and what our educators are doing, day in and day out. In addition, the Earth Day is on April 22nd, again, a great day to celebrate for the people who are really affiliated with the characteristics of our planet. Once again, it is truly a pleasure to welcome you all in our conference today. A great lineup of sessions waits for you, and I'm very sure you're going to thoroughly enjoy it. Thank you, and Jai Jinendra.
Great. Thank you very much, Dr. Parveen Ji. Thank you for sharing those insightful words and also for talking a little bit about the programs that we're offering here at Arihanta. It's very exciting, very cutting edge, innovative things that we're doing here. And our academic research has been really astounding. So thank you for sharing those words. Next, I would like to ask a few words of Dr. Christopher Jane Miller. Dr. Christopher Miller is the co-founder, vice president of academic affairs, and professor of Jain and Yoga Studies at Arihanta Institute. He completed his PhD in the study of religion at the University of California, Davis, and he's a visiting researcher at the, sorry, that was a typo there. He's a visiting researcher at a museum in Switzerland, Zurich, I think it was. Sorry, I didn't get that quite right on my notes here. But he's visiting professor at Claremont School of Theology, where Arihanta offers the MA in Engaged Jain Studies that has been mentioned. His current research is really focusing on modern yoga and engaged Jainism. And he and I are also co-editing a volume where a lot of our panelists are authors in that volume. And so please welcome Dr. Christopher Jane Miller.
Thank you, Dr. Bohanec, and thank you everyone for coming to this conference, the second annual Engaged Jain Studies Conference, Yoga and Jainism. I really want to congratulate my colleague, Dr. Kojan Bohanec, for his wonderful organization of this over the past almost a year since we started conceptualizing this, and he came up with the idea to do a conference on yoga in Jainism. We really want to thank our coworkers and our team and the volunteers and everyone at Arihanta Institute who helped make this possible for us to bring this second conference to you. Last year, we had our first conference on engaged Jain studies, and this conference focused on defining applied Jain studies. Many of the presenters who are here today presented on that conference as well. So we have a small but growing community of Jain scholars in this online space, and it's been taking off fairly rapidly. So much so that last year, after our conference, we invited our speakers to contribute to a volume on engaged Jainism that is, I'm happy to say, about to be submitted to SUNY in its final form after we get a couple final more chapters from our contributors. But we're almost there, and you can expect to see that volume on engaged Jainism coming out soon from SUNY Press. This year, we are bringing this conference on yoga in Jainism to discuss this very important and growing topic in the field. We have both senior scholars in this field as well as new scholars who are making contributions to this field, very important contributions. And we do hope that Dr. Bohanek's conference that he's organized here with everyone will lead to some future publication in this regard to continue to advance this field of academic inquiry. So we'll see that there's going to be a very interdisciplinary approach taking place here. And we really want to encourage this, an interdisciplinary approach to the study of Jain yoga, what we're calling Jain yoga. I want to thank our panelists for agreeing to participate. And I also really want to thank our respondents. We have Tine Wekemans at Ghent University, as well as Stephen Vos coming all the way from Colorado. I say that because I'm in Zurich. And it's the University of Zurich where I'm a visiting researcher, I think is what you meant to say. But I also worked with Museum Rietberg here, as many of you may recall, on the Jain sign being Jain exhibition. There's so many wonderful things going on with regard to the Jain tradition and Jain yoga all over the world. And one of the things I want to just briefly mention to you is that we recently added to our master's degree Engaged Jain Studies program here in collaboration with Claremont University, Claremont School of Theology. We've added a concentration in yoga studies. And so you can take with us courses in that program to learn specifically about Jain yoga, its history, its philosophy, as well as its contemporary practice. And those courses are already rolling out over the course of the next year. If anybody's interested, we do have an MA info session about our program that will be launched on Monday. We can drop the link to that to register for registration in the chat. Besides that, I really know that this conference is going to add a lot of new thought to this growing field of Jain yoga. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what comes out of it. And I do thank Dr. Bohanek once again for his wonderful organization and hard work around putting this together. And thank you everyone for joining us. Jai Jinendra.
Okay, great. Thank you for sharing those thoughts, Dr. Christopher Miller. Appreciate that very much. And I, in turn, want to thank all of our organizers who helped me. We have a vast network of volunteers at Arihanta behind the scenes, and some of our staff. And then, of course, my superiors at Arihanta. Everybody has really done so much to make this happen. So I'm really grateful to all of the people who helped make the conference happen. But of course, extremely grateful to all of our wonderful erudite panelists today who have decided to join us and to share their knowledge and their wisdom. So thank you all to the panelists, and then our growing list of attendees too, our participants. Thank you all for coming today and showing up to be here for what promises to be a very enlivening conversation. So I just wanted to say a note or two about the layout of the conference. The itinerary, of course, is posted on our website. I believe that it's on the Arihanta site. You can find it, Yoga Jainism Conference. So we basically have 6 panels. The first panel is going to deal with Jain yoga and the issues of ethics and the lived tradition. The second panel will be on textual studies in Jain yoga. Then we will have a discussion on embodied Jain yoga practices, followed by contemplative practices, comparative yoga traditions, and various different methodological concerns. So this is really actually going to be a pretty broad swath of topics that are covered here. A lot of what people think of as yoga studies proper and how that all is expressed in the Jain tradition and discussed in the Jain tradition.